This is my 2006 Subaru Forester build that I converted for full-time winter camping. Well, full-time, like a 2-month road trip, but camping kind of through the northern part of the US and southern part of Canada. So got it ready for like, -10 to -20 degree Fahrenheit nights. Yeah, I'll kind of walk you guys through everything I did for the build and kind of the current setup that I got going on. So the main part of this build right here is this plywood platform that everything else kind of rests on. Out of this nice little slide out table. So this thing is super nice for any cooking. It's basically like a tailgate that just slides out of the back of my car. Even nice for just like getting all my gear on at ski resorts, stuff like that, having just somewhere to set everything. I sealed this little table right here just with some like finishing seal, so I'm able to clean it with just like, water and a rag, or if I get a little snow on it or something like that, it's not a huge deal. I got this handle right here just from Lowe's for like $1. Okay, next up we got this Cubby system that I built. So I built this completely separate from the main platform, but it just bolts on there kind of with 2 bolts that holds everything together. But I found these nice little like Tupperware things that fit in these really well, and then I put a little lip right here. So in here, I have cooking utensils, things like that. Here, dish soap, bag, some extra Velcro for securing stuff, cooking knife, little bubble wrap back there just in case I need to pack anything delicate away. And honestly, I kind of just started staying in, this is like day 4 or 5. So this, obviously these Tupperwares will fill up a little more, but for now they're just holding a few things each. I have this nice little bungee cord system for all of this. So it just kind of holds everything in place. In here I have mug, a couple rags for doing dishes, the main bowl that I kind of eat everything out of, a lighter for the camp stove, and then just basic kind of utensils for eating and whatnot. And then in here, I have my protein powder, and that is it as of right now. So checking out the Cubbies a little bit further back, on top here, I have this nice little gym bag. So this is just what I'll walk into the gym or like Planet Fitness with. It's got a towel, all of my like soap, shampoo, stuff like that, as well as like toothbrush, electric razor. So I'm able to just grab that really quickly and easily. And then in here, so this is kind of my sleeping cubby. So I have everything I need when I'm going to bed and waking up. So I got just like my warmest winter jacket kind of packed in here, as well as just some things to keep me warm while I'm sleeping. This little electric fan that I'll use to ventilate. I'll roll down the windows just like a 1/4 inch in the back and blow this fan out one of them just to create a little cross draft, as well as just like a nice pair of clean base layers and some cords. Down here I have my backpack stuffed with like all of my electronics, so if I go into like a Starbucks or a coffee shop to like charge up all of my stuff, then all of the cords are in here. And then this right here, this is my EcoFlow generator. This is all that I'm using for power. So it's like right at or under 800 watt hours. Yeah, and I'm able to kind of run everything, and then I'll show you guys what this does here in a second. Okay, moving on to the passenger side, back side of the car. So in here, I'll show you guys, I remove the back seats of the car, and I have storage going all the way underneath here. So this is the Cubby system that I'm talking about. Yeah, so, and then it kind of goes all the way back. So there's quite a bit of storage, and that goes all the way across. So I have some camera gear like packed in the middle, and then all of my, just like outerwear, clothes, things like that. Alrighty, and coming to the other side of the car, down here I have just like my gym shoes, and then right here, this is one of my main clothing bags. So this has all of my like underwear, base layers, pants, and then right on the other side, I have this little random bag that kind of keeps all of my tops, all of my like t-shirts, things like that, and then stuffed in is just like more camera gear, more clothes. All right, and then the other thing I have up here is just like a hybrid soft hard shell cooler. So it fits in like pretty nice to this spot kind of between the backside of the Cubby and my driver's seat here. I definitely don't have a bunch of stuff, just like a milk, few Tupperware containers. And then what I've been doing, since it's like an all cold weather trip, is I have 2 ice packs in the bottom. So when I'm sleeping or not in the car and it's cold, I just leave the cooler open. And then when I'm driving and I have my heat on, I close and zip up the cooler. And then the final thing I have over here is a nice little water bottle positioned very close to where I sleep, so I do not have to exit my sleeping bag or my car to take a piss in the middle of the night. Very key. This thing was like $2 from Goodwill. I think, yeah, price tag's still on it. And absolutely probably the highest leverage $2 I've spent on the entire build. No question. All right, coming into the front of the car, definitely don't really have anything fancy going on here. Yeah, we'll try to leave my passenger seat open for my bag, water bottle, things I'm gonna need that day. I keep a trash bag down there, as well as a OBD2 sensor for checking my car if anything happens, or shutting off my check engine light as it comes on like once a week and is super annoying. We got Leatherman, some rags, and then just general glove box things. Okay, and then moving on to the actual sleep setup, what I have going on here is just a sheet of Reflectix at the very bottom, so plywood, Reflectix, and then I have a 3-inch memory foam mattress that I got on Amazon for like 70 bucks, and then here I have a heating pad that plugs into my power bank if I'm like super cold overnight, and then top layer is my sleeping bag. This sleeping bag is rated for negative 25 degrees Fahrenheit, so I think with all my layering as well as the heating pad, I should be good to go as cold as it's going to get on this trip. We'll see. Could be wrong. So far, I've been pretty comfortable. I definitely have not been cold. Over here, I have some water storage. If I need to fill up my water bottle, I'll just kind of put this right here, fill it up. If I'm doing dishes, I'll normally have kind of my like tailgate pulled out as well. Yeah, definitely not the perfect like water tank storage. It's definitely going to freeze if it does get down to negative 20, but yeah, I don't know. We'll just kind of cross that bridge as we get to it. All right, I guess we can kind of unpack this corner now. So slide out my tailgate. Whenever I'm like doing things throughout the day, I shove all my Reflectix. Oh boy. These are all my Reflectix window covers. I just cut these out with scissors and made them myself. I utilized a few pieces of Velcro, but for the most part, they just kind of jam into my windows. And then this one was just like a windshield one that I got at Marshall's for like $5. I got my Coleman stove back here, as well as the propane that goes with it. So that just screws in right there. Honestly, I thought having the 2-burner stove was gonna be like really nice, but I may look into just like a single burner that takes up less space and also takes up less space on my table. Originally, I was thinking I was going to have a second kind of slide out right in here, but a little bit bigger, but I felt like this is going to be plenty of space. After using the build for a few days, I think I should have built like a little bit bigger of a tailgate, but no worries. It definitely still works fine. I still have quite a bit of counter space. I also have this area kind of right in here. And then back here, I just kind of keep some random odds and ends. My pot, my pan. Obviously, I've used my pot a lot. Yeah, and then also a water bottle. What I'll do with this, if it's super cold, I will boil some water and then put it in this water bottle and then shove it at the feet of my sleeping bag, just for a little extra warmth because my feet definitely get cold at night. But generally with just like wool socks, it works fine. And then also for lighting, I have a little thing that I just smashed on my dome light that just runs off of batteries, so it won't kill the car's battery. And then I also have this magnetic light that I like to kind of smash on like right here, and it just adds a bunch of light at night, which is super nice. Sweet. So last thing, kind of going over the power setup a little bit. So I just keep this plugged in right here, which is the controller for my heating pad. All I have to do in the middle of the night if I'm cold is turn on this power bank, turn on the inverter, and then this is good to go. And running it high, which is pretty freaking warm. I actually start sweating if the sleeping bag is zipped up. It's at 54%. It says 39 hours. Yeah, it'll go down. It's about 4 hours. So I get about 8 hours at full power. And then at a single, like on just a little bit, which is generally plenty. That's normally where I'll turn it on to. So it's at 50% right now and I have 11 hours. So yeah, I get like 22, 24 hours out of a full battery. So not bad. All right, final thing for charging the battery. right back here plugged into the solar input, I have a 12-volt charger, so this cord runs from there, my center console here, and then it has just a little 12-volt cigarette lighter, so I just plug that in while I'm driving if I need to charge the battery. Piece is my car topper here. So this thing is actually like such a game changer, and I'm so stoked that I ended up getting one. So I just kind of climb right up here. Yeah, and then I have a camping chair, snowboard boots, some outerwear, an extension cord, as well as a full like huge socket set and a couple extra pounds of protein powder since I drink like at least 1 shake a day. But this has been so nice just to be able to kind of like throw stuff up and not have to be super worried about how organized everything is, but more just kind of like throw it in there. Also, like my wet snowboard can go in here every single night, and I'm not worried about that. So that's pretty much it for the build. I've had different builds before where I built the platform up high and then had storage all underneath, but I really didn't like how close I was to the ceiling. Like I hated that kind of lack of headroom. So this build definitely prioritizes that. I built this kind of all myself with help of like some of my awesome friends in their shops. I'm definitely not like the best woodworker by any means. I know how to use a saw, but I'm not particularly good. I didn't have like exact plans coming into this or anything and was able to get it done. Definitely, like if you looked at the Cubbies, which I built completely by myself, a little bit closer, you would see they're not perfect. But yeah, I spent maybe like $200-300 bucks in wood doing this, and it took me maybe like 2 or 3 days of working in, you know, my parents' garage and my buddies' shops. I used 3/4 inch plywood for all of the main platform, and then the Cubby I used 1/2 inch just because I wanted to save 50 bucks or 40 bucks, whatever it was, and didn't feel like it made that much of a difference. And then as far as this trip I'm on, I bought an Icon Pass, so I plan on going to a bunch of different mountains. Like I said, kind of northern part of the US, so I'm on my way from Minneapolis to Big Sky right now. I stopped at a national park, Theodore Roosevelt National Park, which I did not know existed, but it was right on my way and has actually been super cool. But yeah, and then like I said, I've only spent 3 or 4 days sleeping in it so far, so I'm definitely gonna do some things like add a little bit extra storage, maybe like some netting on the side, fill up these containers a little bit more, and I'll keep you guys updated. I'll probably do a video at the end of the trip as well, kind of what's changed, what worked well, what I would change if I had to do the build again. But yeah, overall, I'm really hyped with how the build came out. I've been relatively comfortable in the car every single night. Yeah, and just feeling pretty good about it. This car definitely is not perfect. I mean, it's a 20-year-old Subaru with 250,000 miles on it that I paid like just over $2 grand for a few years ago. It's broken down on me a few times in the last couple years. You know, it doesn't start the best. I have some like evap issues and some other things going on, but you know, I have that OBD2 reader, a multimeter, and between those things and ChatGPT and Reddit, I feel like I can figure out and fix most things unless a head gasket goes, so fingers crossed there. I'm doing more videos kind of walking through my trip and the different adventures I'm on, so if you're interested in that, kind of click around the channel, find some of those. But yeah, hopefully this inspires some of you guys to do your own build and your own thing. And oh yeah, and last thing, I also brought my electric bass on the road. This is the one thing that doesn't really have like a home or a place, but I really wanted to bring it. So while I'm driving, I just toss it right there, and then when it's time to sleep at night, I throw it up in my passenger seat. Yeah, and it all kind of works. I think as long as everything else has a home, that one thing kind of floating around works totally fine.